With every new edition of Football Manager and with every patch in each of those editions, there are new broken things in the game. Broken things that are OP or meta in the match engine. This year, there are a number of different roles and positions that seem to overwhelm the AI. I was thinking, let's try and put all of them into one tactic. So that's what I've done. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Clayts, and today I've got another tactic video for you. It's a tactic video with a little bit of a twist. The twist is that I've been trying to research and find out what people regard to be the most OP and meta player positions and roles in FM22. And from that very thorough research, which wasn't at all just tweeting it out and asking you guys to tell me what you thought. From that thorough research, there seem to be two main schools of thought. They are inverted wing backs and central midfielders set to attack. From those two positions and roles, you guys seem to think that you are getting the most meta, OP, or broken mechanics out of our match engine. And today, I thought I'm going to go and build a tactic that incorporates both of those, and hopefully chaos will ensue and it will be very, very successful. That, I think, I've managed to achieve. And yes, before we continue, there is a download link. You can download it from Steam. The link is in the description. There is also a direct download link as well, and you can move it into the correct folder, etc., and use this in your game. Let's get into showing you exactly how it works. Before we do jump into exactly how it works, a quick thank you to my patrons over on Patreon, or the Claytreon, as we are calling it. You will see your names down below. Thank you so much for your ongoing support. It is massively appreciated. If you want to join the Claytreon, then you can do so by following the link that is in the description as well. There are a whole load of benefits, and as well as an exclusive chat in the Discord as well, which you can request any sort of resources that you want, tactics or squad views or whatever it might be. I am happy to oblige within reason, of course, obviously. Also, if you have not already subscribed to the channel, then please do think about doing so. Thank you so much for 15,000 subscribers here on YouTube. That is a massive goal that we've managed to achieve. Thank you everybody for helping us on that journey so far. Let's aim high. Let's go for 20k next, right? Also, leave a like on the video if you find it useful, and leave me some comments down below. Who are you going to use today's tactic with? Are you going to use it with Port Vale in League 2? Whatever it might be, let me know in the comments down below. Let's get into exactly how our 4-2-3-1 meta tactic exactly works. Let's get into it. So if we're going to set up a tactic that is the meta for Football Manager 2022, there was only really one shape that we could put the team into and really call it the meta. Of course, it had to be the 4-2-3-1, as you can see then. And to be honest, it's pretty straightforward, this tactic, but it does seem to get some insane results. And I'm going to show you a few of those as we get on in today's video. I'm going to show you a few different saves that I've used this in and simulated a few seasons to show you that it does really work, and you can go and use it in your saves as well. But of course, we had to start in the 4-2-3-1. That is, of course, the place we begin. And I will show you first of all then some of the instructions. So let's go to the team instructions first of all. Let's think about our mentality, which is going to be positive. I think what's most meta out of these, it might be slightly meta these days to go for attacking or very attacking, but I find like the sweet spot for this is usually positive. So that's what we've gone with. In possession, keeping it as simple as possible, I think, is kind of the meta, actually, when you think of 4-2-3-1s, when you think of tactics in Football Manager 2021. You can see the instructions here then for in possession. Fairly wide. We've got play out of defense, slightly shorter passing, an extremely high tempo. It's almost a gegenpress, isn't it? When you think of the most OP or meta tactical style, it's going to be a gegenpress. Basically, what we've built here today is a 4-2-3-1 gegenpress, but there are a few twists that I think actually make it even better than that. The tempo is extremely high, and then there's work ball into box as well. It's mixed crosses because they seem to do high crosses, low crosses as well. Even if it doesn't really matter what you put this on. I find that if you put it on low crosses, they still boot it high anyway. So mixed crosses on that one. In transition, if we go through to these, as we talked about, it's a gegenpress basically. Counter press and counter. We're going to distribute to the fullbacks, which are going to be our inverted wing backs, which we'll come on to in a second, as well as throwing it long from the goalkeeper at the back there. Into out of possession, we've got a standard defensive line with a much higher line of engagement. A offside trap is being used here, and we are preventing the short goalkeeper distribution, tighter marking, etc, etc. Get stuck in is not turned on this. I use that in quite a lot of different tactics. Today's one It is not, though. Very simplistic in terms of the instructions on this one, but they seem to be doing the job. Let's move through then to the positions and the roles. The roles then are, as you can see on your screen here, I will click on them just in case there are any player instructions, but a bit of a spoiler, there aren't really that many. The goalkeeper is going to be a sweeper keeper on support. I should mention as well, we're starting with Liverpool here because I think that's a good test. You need to blow away the Premier League with Liverpool if your tactic is going to be good. That's what we're aiming to do with our first simulation. This is just setting it up, look, in July before we run it, and I will show you the results of this sim in a little while after this as well. The first big ones then, the inverted wing backs. I will click on the right hand side one, which is Trent Alexander-Arnold here. You can see how he's been set up. He is going to be pivotal to this tactic here. He will get himself, basically waltz his way through the entire team and get himself into attacking positions and score goals from right back because of this inverted wing back thing. It is something that the AI just can't really track or manage. It's very, very OP, if you like. He is on the right hand side. Robertson on the left is going to be doing a similar job. Not really any differences from this one, except for the cut inside with ball is not so natural for Trent on this side, but the same instructions. In centre-back, it's going to be Van Dijk and Konate starting as ball-playing defenders on defend. Both of them exactly the same look, as you can see, with that standard defensive line, which is very anti-Liverpool at the moment. They're kind of using that very, very high defensive line, aren't they, in real life? But in this one, it's going to be standard. Those are going to be our roles at the back then, with the main one being the inverted wing-backs on the right-hand side and the left-hand side. They are set to attack, and by word, do they attack. Hopefully, we'll get some clips into this as well to show you how they do go about attacking and scoring goals and doing stuff from these wide positions, or less wide positions as they are inverted. Let's move through to the midfield then, where we've got a DLP on defend. Actually, even as I was choosing all of these other roles, I was thinking, what's the most meta at the moment? What would I go for that I think fits the meta of the match engine at the moment? A DLP I've used for a very long time. A DLP on defend here with Fabinho is quite well suited. So he's going to be playing alongside our other main event in terms of the tactic, which is our CM on attack, central midfield on attack. The only instruction on him is get further forward, and they do get further forward. They make those late third man runs. They waltz their way through into the box. The defenders just sort of wave at them as they go past and don't track them, and they can just score goals. They really cause chaos in the defense, these central midfielders on attack. Alternatively, we could use a Metzala on attack here. I've seen people say about how they do a very similar job to the CM on attack, but we're going to go with the main one, the one that you guys mainly said when I asked on Twitter, what is the most OP role? Central midfield attack seem to be the number one here. I've seen you talk about like Souček being very good at this because he has those late runs. To be especially effective here, you could make sure you have a player that has the player traits arrives late in opposition area or gets further forward and gets into opponents' areas. But Thiago's going to do a job. As I'm going to show you, he definitely does manage to do a job here. I've used Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is quite good for this. Does he have the trait? Yeah, he gets forward whenever possible, so that kind of fits. That's why I used him in one of our simulations, but Thiago's going to start in this particular one here because he can work there. In front of these two midfielders, you're going to have the three of the 4-2-3-1. We're going to have Bobby Firmino playing as an advanced playmaker on attack. I'll show you his instructions there. Outside of him, we've got a winger who is just going to be on support. It's Sadio Mane for me here. Going to get himself to the byline. He's going to cross it from there. He's going to set up goals. And then the other, and probably the most important of our three here, is going to be the inside forward on attack. I think since the latest patch, the inside forward on attack is probably the most meta of our high pushed up wingers, and he will score goals from here. He basically plays like a second striker at times. Diaz, I'll show you how he does in this season where we simulate this, but he is going to be doing that and then some from this left-hand side. And then up front, what's the most OP or meta striker role? I think it's probably advanced forward. You guys seem to agree with me on that one. I've gone for Mo Salah playing as this, with the instruction to move into channels as well, which I think, and I will show you, is very, very effective. That is the setup of the tactic. As I go and simulate this, I didn't set any special training or do anything in particular, really. The only other little trick that I did try to employ was with the set piece takers. I tried to make sure, and this is something you could try in your saves as well, because I think it just boosts ratings in the correct places, and it just seems to help with things altogether. If you can get your fullbacks to take corners even if they are outswinging, especially if you can get a left footer on them. I'm going to maybe do a video all about Alex Telles, because I just feel like he's the best player in Football Manager 2022, and it is because of this. He takes corners, gets so many assists from them, and I think if you get your fullbacks taking the corners, you get the most out of your set pieces. Instead of the fullbacks taking the free kicks, though, you should get your DLP taking the free kicks. You don't have to do that, but it's a sort of extra on top thing that I do that I think seems to get good results as well. So this is how we set up. Let's go and do some simulations and see the results that we can get with this tactic. Okay, here we are then to show you some of the results of using this tactic. The first one is going to be this Liverpool save. You saw me setting up the tactic. The result of that sim, well, it's quite spectacular, really. Yes, we've won the league. Maybe that's not so much of an achievement overall, but Mohamed Salah scored 76 goals in this season in all competitions. In the league, Mohamed Salah scored 56 league goals, 56 Premier League goals in a 103-point season for Liverpool. That is phenomenal. He has got himself a 7.99 average rating, and have a look at some of the assist makers in here too. This is actually the simulation where I use Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain as the central midfield attack as well. He got himself 16 goals, but Mo Salah, 76 goals all competitions in 57 games. What an achievement, to be honest. That alone made me think, I think this tactic might be very OP. I'll show you just some of the other player stats as well on that one, just to show you exactly how it did. We had Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain as this central midfielder on attack get 19 goals. We had Luis Diaz from the left-hand side as our inside forward get 18 goals, but Mo Salah on 76 goals. Jota got 17, usually coming off the bench as well. In fact, he only had 16 starts, but got 17 goals there. Have a look at that. Of course, we also have these inverted wing-backs, and Trent Alexander-Arnold got 7 goals, and Robertson got 6 goals. Van Dijk from the set pieces getting himself 10 goals as well. We were a goal scoring machine this year, a 99 goal difference. How many goals scored was that? It was 136 goals scored in the season. I'll show you the results here as well. Just to go through, there are some brilliant results in this. We won the Merseyside derby 6-1 there, as Salah scored 4 goals in that one, and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain got one as well as Jota in that one. We beat Norwich 9-1. I think there's a big City win is there in this one. I think there was in one of the ones anyway. We actually went out of the Champions League here to Real Madrid in the quarterfinals, which was disappointing. I think if we beat them, we'd probably win the whole thing. But do you know what? Even with that as a bit of a disappointment, there are some extraordinary results I think you will find. Just want to show you the Man City games as well. We beat them 3-1 look away from home and drew 0-0 at home. I feel like that's a good test of how good a tactic is. How do you get on against Manchester City? Also, Manchester United beat them 3-2. The biggest wins were like a 6-1 win against Chelsea here that you can see. 6-2 against Southampton down there, as well as that. Was it 9-0? Against, it was 9-1 against Norwich as well. So some brilliant results in there. Of course, you'd expect that. I just want to show you some stats as well. If I go to team details, an expected goals for of 105 expected goals and scored 136. We exceeded it, but even the expected goals for was over 100 in this particular simulation. Quite extraordinary. I think that shows that it's obviously pretty good, but was it a fluke? And does this tactic work for other teams as well? First of all, let's prove that it wasn't a fluke, because I went and simulated the Liverpool season all over again. Let me show you the results of that first. Okay, so here's season number 2, and as you can see, it happened again. There's 100 points in this one, and Salah got himself 77 goals in this one. I think I used Thiago as the central midfielder on attack in this one. He got himself 5 goals, so not as effective as Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, but he was still pretty good. In this one, though, we saw the inverted wing backs of Trent be slightly more effective. He got himself 10 goals, 77 goals all competitions for Mo Salah, though. So that goes to show it works. But does this work when you're not Liverpool, a team that's expected to win the Premier League, or at least expected to challenge? I tried it with a few other teams. Let me show you how they went. Here's a season with Napoli where we won the league here in the Serie A, 92 points. Victor Osimhen was the main goal scorer with 30. Not quite Salah levels, is it? But still pretty good. He also did go to the African Nations Cup in that season as well, so maybe that's slightly lower. If I show you how the team got on, then it was a little bit like this, with Osimhen up front and Insigne off the left. You can see some of the goal scorers in this one as well. 30 for him. Insigne off the left-hand side with 24 goals. I think Mertens got himself 17 off the bench as well. Look, he did. So it won the league with Napoli. But I know what you're going to ask me as well in the comments. You're going to say, does it work in the lower league? So I did go and try it with Oxford City as well, and these were the results of that. I'm going to do that on a new thing because I can't actually. I need to go and download it. And there you can see then that Oxford City did go and win the league with the tactic. I think the media prediction for them was 11th, so it goes to show that you can be a bit about mid-table and this tactic will do enough to go and win you the league. But a little bit of a disclaimer on this, I don't think it's one of those one-size-fits-all. I don't think it's plug and play for every team and expect to go and be amazing. If you have the players, this can be very effective, as we have seen, but this video is more about trying to put some of those meta roles and positions into a tactic and seeing what happened. I think we've created a very good tactic here, but I don't necessarily think it's going to work for everyone. So I don't want to see comments saying things like, I tried it at Port Vale and I conceded a goal. So you've been warned. I don't want to see that. I'm definitely going to see that now, aren't I? But that, though, is our 4-2-3-1 meta tactic. I hope you guys enjoy it. As I mentioned, the link to that is in the description. You can download it on Steam or as a direct download, and you can then put it into your game and enjoy it. Let me know how you get on with it, and good luck with your saves. Thank you so much for watching today. If you've enjoyed this, if you think it's useful, if you're going to use the tactic, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Also, leave a like on today's video and leave me those comments. And if you want to, go and join over on Patreon as well. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely, lovely rest of your day. Bye-bye.